Look at Mox, everybody. Look at his ugly mug. I'm totally using this as your.
I know.
as your...
Welcome to Disparate Worlds, where an irresistible force meets an immovable object. I'm Mox, and this is Sechari, comparing and contrasting the worlds of Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, and Ashes of Creation.
Yes, hello to you friends. Welcome to Disparate Worlds, episode number 22, and also a very warm welcome to Mox's new goatee.
Yes. It's visiting me from Philadelphia.
Right. It's here from out of town. It won't be here next episode.
Probably not.
It'll have left again. So, what made you, sir, decide that you wanted to look a little bit more like Sechari?
Well, that's impossible. Like, I cannot possibly look as good as you.
Yeah. Oh, can we? Will you start to grow your hair, sir? This is a very important question.
I've been trying that since I was like 20, and like it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I have enough hair for the both of us. I just want you to know I got you covered, my friend.
All right, I appreciate that.
Yes, that's what. Hey, what is a support role for, right?
Can I borrow that hair for my online dating profile?
We can certainly Photoshop things. I have Photoshopped other things that have required attention recently. So
there you go.
We'll talk about that here in a second.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to episode 22, friends. Good to have you with us as always. Do the whole like and subscribe thing if you dare. Because we'd love to pelt you with all kinds of terrible information.
I double dog dare you to like this video.
Ooh, speaking of terrible information, can we do a quick touch, Mox, on some faux pas we committed last episode?
Us? Never.
Right.
Never happened.
Like, do these people even know us? Goodness me.
Right.
Okay, so we actually have a whole laundry list of things here that we need to clarify.
It was a comedy of errors. Is that what they say?
Yes. Yeah. Everybody else had their game together, and we were just fumbling the ball.
Yes.
Very badly. So, I tell you what. Let's mention the first one that was the most glaring. I think it was that we were talking about
right. When you grab the lead game guy from the development company attention, that's a bad thing.
Right. Maybe that's what we know, that if Joppa shows up, we did something wrong.
Sorry, Joppa.
He's like, okay, guys, I got to step in. Actually, he didn't touch on what I thought he would. He owed us a swift kick for the misinformation, but that platform that we were saying, how do you fit 24 people on it? It's not meant for 24 people, Mox.
Right. It's not. Yeah.
So
clearly we were right. It's not meant for 24 people. We just didn't know that there was two other platforms that's for the other 12 or 16 people, rather.
Yeah. So it's a platform for 8 people. So we wanted to thank our friends Dustin and Jim. Thank you guys for catching us in the comments and going, hey, they answered this question. I know you guys are asking this, but they answered that question. So
yeah, Alec also jumped in on it on Discord.
Yes,
and told us. So
yes,
thank you, everyone.
Yes, for clearing up our misinformation. By the way, we don't even remotely. We are going to try to keep things right, So within our human limitations, if you catch something in the comments, if it's not that big a deal, we'll just say thank you for commenting and correcting us. No big deal. If it's big enough, we'll mention it in the next episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought this was big. Yeah. And then thank you,
We're not too proud to say we're wrong.
Dude,
that's like a daily thing for me.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No. We admit every time we're idiots. If they haven't figured that out by now, it means nobody's listening.
Whenever we say welcome to Disparate Worlds, just translate that to we're a couple of idiots trying to make our way through this YouTube world.
Yes, a couple of moron talking heads. That's all we are. I keep saying that to our subreddits as well. We're just a bunch of talking heads.
Oh, why are you on Reddit?
I try to be on Reddit. Our friends.
Reddit is like a fish barrel that's sitting in Southeast Asia, out in the humid summer sauna weather for a month, and then you go down to the bottom of that barrel. That's where Reddit lives.
Yes. Maybe you need to learn whatever crafting discipline works with fermented fish, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
No, clearly Mox is not a friend of the subreddits that are out there.
No, I'm the social guy, and I relegated that to Sechari. Like, I'm not brave enough.
Well, so they caught something, Mox, with our last episode that is probably also worth mentioning. And this one's on me because I'm the one that does something. Okay, look at Mox, everybody. Look at his ugly mug. I'm totally using this as your.
I know.
What I try to do is get Mox to do something animated at some point during the episode.
I'm so stoic.
Because he's so stoic. So usually Mox is just sitting there like this, right? If I can get him to do anything, that's what I clip and use for our thumbnail. Now we were talking about CCs, right? Crowd control skills, and in Pantheon there is your electrocution and your pepper spray and all of these really cool crowd control skills. And at some point during the episode, I was acting out one and he was acting out one.
Yeah.
And that's what I used for our thumbnail graphic. And the Reddit community caught us thinking, it looks like you guys hate the information about the combat AI. I think it's fair. It didn't even occur to me that it would probably look like we were like, oh my goodness, this is the worst news in the world. Anyway, so they thought that, and then when those that actually clicked on it and watched the video were pleasantly surprised. As of this recording, I don't think we have any dislikes on that video.
So the lesson learned is watch the videos first and get the real story. So.
Yes. And also, please don't judge us because we're stupid.
Right.
No, that's great. So hey, we had some adventures with the last one. Thank you, Dropper, for tuning in. I definitely appreciate you. He clarified some about like disposition is a separate layer on top of this functionality which governs within a fight. Right. And yes, but I imagine they probably use this functionality to kind of create those dispositions.
That kind of flow chart thing that they were talking about, they called it like a graph or something. Yeah. That thing there. Yeah, exactly.
So and then also traits. He mentioned, I tried to extract a bean from him and get him to tell us, yes, there is a list of traits out there, but he wouldn't budge. But so the way I understood traits is that any you can have up to 3 traits on any NPC out there. I understood it to be largely like Diablo 2. In Diablo 2, and I haven't played, I think, enough Diablo 3 to really know if it's there. Like, early on, you wouldn't see it so much, but as you got into, nightmare mode type of stuff, you'd come across these nasty, nasty things that were immune to lightning, immune to fire.
Right.
Or
when you hit them, they spin out sharks. Right, exactly.
Yeah, just nasty, nasty things. And it was all of those traits, quote unquote, type of thing that would be loaded up on this creature. Right now there's up to 3 that you may see. So, but sometimes those combinations, like if you were a sorceress and you were throwing lightning and fire, and it was immune to lightning, immune to fire, that was just something you weren't going to kill. So I still think it's going to be formidable, but I appreciate Joppa for jumping in on our episode to clarify.
Yeah,
on the comments. So
all right, enough self-flagellation.
Yes, we flagellate ourselves around here. So should I say, hey, it's time for the news?
It's time for the news.
As if we haven't been going over it.
Yes, tell us about the Ashes news.
Ashes news. There is a leak, as always, like Stephen Sharif likes to do on his individual.
Does it really count as a leak if the head guy is doing it?
No,
isn't it just like a post?
Yeah. It's not the actual official channel, right? It's like somebody at the company.
Oh,
so it's a leak, but it's not.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah, I mean, there's some cool little things and plushies and stuff that they're now doing, which look great. I really like that Live Laugh Troll Cup. If you dare to drink out of that, it's going to take like 3 spaces in your dishwasher.
Dishwasher, yeah, for sure.
Maybe that's the troll. I don't know.
Right.
That's a part of it.
It's good stuff though. Are you gonna get the Plague Doctor and sleep with it?
The Plague Doctor? No. So 2 of those are based off of suits of armor that they have recently. There's a name for that. It doesn't really readily come to mind for me. But yeah.
I got you,
Yeah, those are out there. June 8th, the Deeds of the Dauntless cosmetic set went live, which has a kind of Aquaman below the ocean kind of look to it, I thought, or like maybe ice. Do you disagree?
Really? I disagree.
It feels
it's more
oceany
like
to me.
Fauna, like deer and woodlands. Like
Yeah, well, so that deer looks like it's got some ice, like shards of ice with it, right? I don't know what to make of this. What is the general? Usually you can tell. Okay,
the general
they took
is
something and intermixed.
Aquamarine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Aquamarine. Like that's the theme. Like you have a
So
little
it's
bit
based
of
on the
light blue and everything. Like even on the building, there's a little bit of light blue. Like
okay, because usually they take like an element, like it's gonna be ice, right, or the forest, or gnarly roots, right? They take something that's quite clear, and you see that theme throughout. This one is a little more challenging. It's got a refreshing type feel to it, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's simple. I kind of like it for its simplicity. Like the armor's not overly done, and the carriage is kind of quaint, I guess.
Yeah. Your caravan.
It's a caravan. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, those are all. Everything that's got a carriage is a caravan skin.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And it was cool. Like in testing, I actually was exploring the node a little bit.
You could be going through the woods and be like, "Oh, I'm not a caravan. I'm Cinderella going to the ball. Like, leave me alone."
You can hope.
Don't touch me.
Anything pulled by an animal, I think, is going to get raided, though. It's just the way it's going to be.
Probably,
yeah. So June 11th, it was this last Friday. Spot testing was ongoing. Siege Fortress testing. I got to be a part of that. We will talk about that here in a minute. And then today, earlier, at least as of this recording, Steven did an AMA, an Ask Me Anything, with the MMORPG subreddit, and hosted a bunch of questions. It was hosted by Protobear, so thank you guys for doing that. He, of course, is the subreddit lead moderator. And it was good. We'll have the link. I don't think they have a link up as of this recording, but I imagine by the time we post this video, they will. So we'll have the link in our description.
Yes. If it's available, we will have it.
Yes, absolutely. So we don't have much to say on the Pantheon side of things. I think we're up to date on the news there, aren't we?
We are. Yep.
Yeah. So that's
Pantheon's great. If you haven't backed it, back it. There you go. That's
Sounds
the news. back Pantheon.
Indeed.
So, in this week's episode, we are going to talk about two big things in regards to Ashes. Number one was the AMA livestream. We're just briefly going to touch on that. And then we're also going to touch a little bit on the testing that went on this weekend and the livestream, the 2-hour livestream that happened last week.
It was lengthy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So, Steven kind of surprised. I had no foreknowledge of this AMA that was going on, and they've been setting it up for some time, and they got questions posted, and then the ones with the most upvotes were asked to Steven over the course of about an hour. Was their chat, right?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. So, so what did you think about it?
It was very good. So they did it with the general MMORPG subreddit audience, which of course is a lot wider in scope than Ashes of Creation. Right? And you have, because Ashes of Creation, you have a community of people that have followed the development of this game for years. Right? 5 years, some of them. So so you've got this community that's out there where they want to know the new stuff. What's the new development? What's new? What changes have there been? That's the stuff they care about. But they don't necessarily care to rehash the questions that a new player might have coming into it. Well, tell me about the combat system, right? Tell me about the node system. What is that? The new players are going to come into that. And Steven did mention, hey, go check out the wiki for that. I think the wiki, by the way, is by far the best resource to get caught up in a hurry. If you're a new person. And there are, I don't know how many content creator, videos out there that explain these things. So there are ways to do that. But if you're looking as a new player who gets involved in the community to learn from the developers, right, to learn straight from the source, you're going to struggle because what the new community or the veteran community will say is, well, That question was answered back in June of 2017. Go find the video.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And so I can see how Intrepid would struggle with giving new information to the old guard backers and followers that have been there for a long time, and catching up the new people. And this kind of AMA type of thing is very good for the new folks.
Yeah, bridges the gap, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think that Steven was very smart to take this kind of thing to a content creator type of situation. I know it was a subreddit, but you take it to an outside source so that you can say, hey, let's catch these people up. Like, we have new people in here. We're going to be answering stuff, and he acknowledged it right from the beginning. We're going to be answering stuff that has been answered before. Right. Just deal with it. Like that's kind of the purpose of this.
Yes, it's a different audience, right? It's not you guys. It's although I mean, sure they were there. And actually, some of the questions were very intelligent.
They were.
Because the MMORPG, or people that care about MMORPGs, but they've done all of the MMORPGs. So you get people coming with expectations or questions or things that they've been burnt with in any other MMO, and they want to know, is Ashes going to do this, or are they going to do it differently? Right. And he was able to speak to a lot of concerns as well.
And he spoke from a point of view from like kind of where things stand now, which is good, because just because you knew something 2 years ago with the game doesn't mean that's what's going on right this second. Like, the tab targeting might be different. Like, did we know 2 years ago that you can kind of choose what you want to be tab targeted, what you want to be action set?
I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. Yeah. So, but now I know that.
Player. Right? I'm a new player, a new subscriber. I'm a new person to this community that is just now getting involved in it, and I know that there's kind of like a hybrid design. I know that, but as to the details, right? I don't necessarily know.
Exactly. So, probably the biggest thing that I got out of this was that Steven addressed the idea of vacant zones, or like, I forget the term that he used, like abandoned zones or whatever. Like, when you come into a new MMO new to you, 2 years after it starts, and all those fresh zones are empty. Yes. Like, those starting zones are all empty.
Right. And, it's like a tutorial / that's where you learn.
And you're alone, or there's only a handful of people there. So, he said, look, he thinks that his strategy for combating it was that organically people will develop the nodes closest to their starting zone first. So they're going to be your biggest cities. So there will be people around. There will be people doing things in those areas simply because these bigger, cities and such will be there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you, as a new player, you step through the Divine Gateway, right? Hey, I'm new here, and I mean, like, having been there, having tested this, there is a road to run down. I mean, there is a little bit of distance you have to traverse to get out there to the nodes. But the closest ones, yes, will be the most developed. That's what people, if they immediately start questing around the spawn area, those are the nodes that they're developing, that they're contributing their XP to. And so those will be, yes, they will be the most developed nodes, and people will be coming back because of commerce, to sell things, to new players.
To do PvP.
Housing. Right, absolutely. Yeah. So I suspect that those nodes closest to the Divine Gateway will probably always generally be the more developed nodes. And as a new player, that's where you step into. So it's good. It's good design, I think.
Yeah. So, all in all, it's good. We will definitely have a link to this. Check it out, because there's a lot of cool information there, especially if you're new to the Ashes community, as we've said. So,
right.
So, as far as the spot testing is concerned, though, you participated in this weekend, and it kind of was a reflection of what was on the live stream. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Okay, so you saw the live stream, right? The May developer live stream. They showed a castle siege, and he had a whole bunch of people, and he got to do some RP. I think Steven is an RP fan. He was like rallying the troops and giving them a good Braveheart speech. I don't know if it worked. I don't know if it was, heart-rousing or not. But anyway.
He's asking people to jump, and a lot of them were jumping, so I'd have to say yes.
Right, hey, why not? Yeah. Jump, my friends. So out the gate they go, right? And then they ran and they fought a dragon just to kind of kill some time. Because I think the attackers...
let me pause you there for a second.
Yeah.
So they're under siege.
Yes.
They've had notice of this. Siege is coming.
They went somewhere
Fortify
else.
your defenses. Batten down the hatches. All that crap, right?
Right.
And they decide now is a good time to go take care of this frost dragon that's been tormenting the lands.
Yes. So what I gather is that if you go out and you're able to kill the dragon, you get buffs. That's what I think I understand. I may be wrong, by the way.
But again, and this also is designed for like 500 on 500, right?
Huge groups. I'm not going to say 500, but yeah, huge groups. Okay.
And what we saw them doing was like about 120 or so on each side, right?
Maybe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, people come with siege weapons that they have built. So this, to me, this is not a node siege. Okay?
Right.
So let me just set this up. So they showed their video, right? Everybody was running around. They was fighting around castle walls. They were ballistas that people were using to shoot off in the distance. Siege
They were
weapons.
ganking Steven, so he was forced to cheat.
Right. By the way, that happened in the testing too. I saw Steven running around with 100,000 health, and everybody was. This is like, it was like the Zerg everywhere he went. It was just so funny. So, yeah. So it's a castle kind of thing, and when I jumped in, and so they show this video. Okay, and you see this whole thing, and that looks really cool. And I thought, okay, well, that's great to see a siege of some kind. Then on spot testing this weekend, they said, hey, we want to stress test that. We're going to do that again, and this time you get to be a part of it. And that was cool. So what we all did is gathered in a node. You find a node, and you're kind of in the town square there. And there are 3 NPCs. One is kind of, I'm not sure quite what its role is, but there's like the attacking NPC and the defending NPC. And you have to arrange yourselves into, you have to be in a guild, and the guild has to say, yes, we're going, the guild leader has to say, yes, we've signed up for the siege, in order for you to participate in it. Okay?
Okay, so let me pause you there.
Sure.
Is that too much power for a guild leader? One person of a guild to have?
I don't know. So I don't know if an officer could do it either. I don't know. Either way,
but if he says no, if the guild leader goes up and says no, it's done. Like, you're not participating.
Yeah. Well, so I think that, so this is not a node siege. Let me be careful. This is was a castle siege.
Or a castle.
And I think that's a different. I think as a node siege, you can defend it as long as you are a
citizen.
A citizen, right? Which means you have to have some housing in order to be a citizen of that node.
Right.
And you go declare your citizenship, by the way. I did some exploration of the nodes and the different, buildings and things that the services that the node offered. So just while I was waiting around, I was poking around and having.
So castles are a guild function. Like a guild would have a castle.
Yeah, I mean multi-guilds. I think you have to get a bunch of people together. And it felt like a castle. It wasn't a node siege. I know that for sure, because when we got started, you would declare yourself, okay, I'm going to be an attacker or I'm going to be a defender by each of those NPCs. And then when the thing launched, you got the loading screen and then you found yourself in another area. I don't know if you got teleported to some other area of the map or if it was an instance. I don't know. I tried to figure that out. I was bringing up the map and looking, and I couldn't figure it out one way or another. So, So I went defender, and so I was there among very many other people. By the way, I do want to say, as we were hanging out, getting ready and everything, they wanted us all to be fairly leveled and fairly armored in order to go into this. And so you start and you're level 0, and there's this promise out there that says, hey, one of our customer service folks is going to, get you what you need. Just go find them, and you have no idea who they are. So I was just like, hey, can somebody help me? I need help. And suddenly I was leveled 16, and bloop, 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 you got more points than you know what to do with. So I was able to invest them in skills, and then drag the skills to my bar, and had some time to go find a mob or two and try them out to make sure I had them on my bar like I liked them, but I did not have any armor. So I was running around. Apparently they were supposed to give you the gold too, and I could never find anybody to give me the gold to go get armored until I ran into Bardtic, who is another content creator, a streamer and a YouTuber And I just was like, hey, there's a name I know. And I knew Fane as well. I saw these two guys running around while we were all hanging out in this node. And I just sent a PM to Bardtic. I'm like, hey, do you know where I'm supposed to get gold? And he's like, oh, they're supposed to give it to you, go find one. But then he was like, I have more than I know what to do with. Would you like some? I said, yeah, sure. So he sent me like 100K, which was more than, yeah, I mean, he had millions apparently on him. So I was like, okay, they just gave him zeros, right? One and a bunch of zeros. So I was able to go to the look at the different, at least on this vendor and the types of armor that they had. I was able to try this on and that on and kind of get it, but it was no really good armor with the good looks. There was no good cosmetics. It was but we all looked like a bunch of tin soldiers by the time we had the best gear we could find.
But this is all vendor purchase stuff, so that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Plus,
it wasn't crafted, it wasn't obtained through a quest, and it wasn't from the shop. So,
exactly.
Moreover, I think that's okay.
They don't want to give you the good stuff just yet, right? They want to leave that for the game, so I get it. The actual game, you're going to start to see things that are really cool. However, the mounts, I want to say that the mounts are incredible. So a lot of the ones that we've seen, right? I'm going to mess up the names on this, but the turtle, right? You got the turtle that you can sit on, or the whatever that turtle-looking thing was that you get to go through the water with, or you got your horses, and you've got like deer type moose kind of things. Some of them are incredible. I found
Did anybody have the ferret mount?
Yes. There's the one that looks like it looks like a ferret.
I like that one.
And the fox with two tails, right? The fire fox. Everybody was jumping around with all kinds of great mounts. It was a lot of fun. Some of them are incredibly gorgeous. Like I don't even know what the name of it is. I will go find the name for a future episode. But just like I was just sitting on it. It was really tall. It was huge. It was kind of like a mixture between a moose and a greyhound. It was like a moose size, but it was like a greyhound type of shape. It looked like the muscles were outside its skin almost, but it was scaly. I mean, it was incredible. Like and then I was just sitting on top of it, watching its animations as it just kind of wasted time, grazing and whatever. It was just like they've done such a good job on these mounts. Yeah, it's just incredible.
So, all right. So I have a question for you. In the stream, we saw Steven have to walk up, talk to somebody to go outside the castle, and then to go talk to somebody to go inside the castle. Was that simple? Is that going to be normal? Like when you were walking around nodes, did you have to talk to people to go from inside a building to outside a building?
No,
I mean that's simply part of this. Like they need a checkpoint for the defenders, so they can't have the door open.
So the way I gathered it is that was a unique thing to that instance. Let's call it an instance for that kind of thing, because you obviously the attackers have to get up, break through that gate into the throne room, and take the throne room.
So they have no way of differentiating the who's allowed to go through a door. So they just say nobody can go through the door until it's broken down.
I imagine. Other
than talking through to this person.
Now, I had to speak to that same NPC in order to get outside the gate myself. And there's multiple ways out. I mean, you could do that to get through the main gate. There were these ways that have drop downs. Like out to the sides, it drop down, and then you run down this hall, and it's kind of like it turns out to be like a secret exit almost. That leads into an adjoining courtyard out there, and then you can run around into the main area. There was that kind of stuff. Cool. But yeah, at some point though in the testing, even though the gate was there, nobody was paying any attention to it and just running right through it.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know if it had been damaged or if I don't know if that was a bug. I don't know, but I was just like, okay, well, if you're not going to talk to this NPC and get out, I'm just running through this gate too.
Right.
So in fact, I think I followed Steven through the gate once or twice. So yeah, I imagine people were trying to gank him.
But really, every moment. I wonder if he ever drops in on an anonymous tune to play, to be able to play without being attracting the entire world.
Yes, he would have to if he just wants to look around and see what people are doing. Absolutely. So. Very minor rubber banding, by the way. There is the odd something where you just kind of have a hiccup.
Well, they said that, didn't they say that they still had not figured out what was causing it? They'd reduced it significantly, but they have not rooted out the exact cause yet.
In the live stream, yes, but between then and now, maybe they have. I don't know. I haven't seen an update on that. But I wasn't experiencing rubber banding. Although I think I heard a report where somebody, like, if it had been long enough on the server, there was a little bit. So maybe not. I want to hedge what I'm saying and say okay, but I wasn't experiencing it. Is what I'm going to say.
Okay. So as a viewer of what he went through, I found that there was still too many particle effects. It's still too flashy.
Right.
In playing it, do you feel like, where do you feel the particle effects are right now? Are they in a good spot? Is it too much? Is it close? Is it better? Like what do you think? It's
hard. There was definitely a moment or two when I was there that things were popping and blowing up in front of my face, and people were zipping in and out, and I couldn't see what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I had to back up to where I had a better field of view.
Right.
I played a healer in this.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult to heal. You have, because I figured out my skills. Okay, this one will put a heart on someone. This one is like an instant heal. Mm-hmm. This one is an AoE heal, and this one kind of buffs an area. I was able to like put like a, you can telegraph around until you find your spot, and then when you click it, it's a beautiful rainbow effect comes up. It was quite beautiful, but that marks that spot as like hallowed ground, right?
Okay.
And your people, their people get damaged on it, and your people get healed on it. So I was able to use the AoE to heal and help my friends, but I could not target my friends except myself.
Okay.
Which was problematic for me as a healer, because I wanted to be able to, I'd love to be able to run around and see, hey, you have a low health bar, target you, help you. Right? As a healer, that's what you're trying to do, is keep everybody from dying, and I just was only really able to spam AoE heals. So
you don't have like a raid, like raid bars, like with all your groups on it?
No. So that was not something I had. You do group. You can group, and I think that's a group mechanic in order to see all of the people's things, and you can click and heal. But I mean, in this kind of content, everybody goes everywhere, right? Your group is nowhere around you.
Right. I get that, but I don't know. I still think I would want to see like everybody who's in the raid, and then the people around me should be somehow like the people away from me should be like kind of like
grayed out
or dimmed a little bit, whatever. Yeah. And then I noticed, maybe I had the wrong idea, but it seemed to me like when I was watching Steven that the enemies' nameplates were the same color as your teammates' nameplates.
No, that's not true. So I mean, the enemies are clearly red names.
Okay, they are
not
red.
a problem,
okay.
Right? Yeah, no, and I think yours are white. So there's no, and an NPC that's interactable has that green with a little shimmer that goes across it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, not a problem. And large nameplates as well. I mean, it was interesting. Like, you have to kind of think and act like a school of fish. You all go together, and if one of you pulls back, you all pull back. It's kind of like if you have to stay in the group. There was a time or two where we were chasing them down. I just felt like we were killing people, chasing them out. Drive them from our lands. And then suddenly you're surrounded, and you're like, "Oh, right. I didn't even."
All
fight
the dead
back.
people got back and are swarming you.
Yeah,
now.
They would come out of nowhere. I mean, it was quite interesting how that was. I mean, you definitely could tell instantly when you were overextended. So it was a lot of fun. I would say there was parts of it. Like, getting back to your question about overtuned effects.
Oh yeah.
Yes, if it's happening in your face, but if you're able to backpedal a little bit or find a position where it's happening around you, it's actually very cool. It felt like a war. There was one stage I remember where I was running from one gate to another gate. If you hold your finger on shift, you get the wind, and you are able to, and you're sprinting, right? And I remember I was just sprinting, and there were explosions happening all like around me. Somebody there would die, and it actually felt like World War I, right? When you're just sprinting as fast as you can, and the explosions happening around you. Yeah. It was very cool. And managed to get to my other gate. Generally speaking, it's what you would expect in a war. When you have that many people throwing that many things, I would expect to have a little bit of vision obscure. There's a lot going on. Right. Compared to a more scaled down attack, maybe on a caravan where you have like 5 people that come out of down the hill, right? So I don't know. I don't know how to answer the question, well, they need to scale it back. I felt like it was probably appropriate, but given that there were 250 siege testers in one spot at war at once, yes, it's going to be a lot of effects.
Right, exactly. And then potentially, double that.
Right.
So, yeah.
But
all in all, it sounds like you had fun. It sounds like it was good. The testing was good. The server was stable. Like, there was no issues there.
I mean, again, no issues with a server. I mean, it's a little bit complicated. Like sometimes you have to you get stuck in a loading screen. I found that if you just kill the client or just Alt F4 out and then relaunch and try again, a lot of times you can get in without an issue. So.
Right, but again, alpha testing. As Steven said this, every stream, it's gonna be buggy, and they actually made a point in the stream to the QA guy, actually wrote a thank you letter to all you testers, and I thought that was very cool. Yeah. And they had something like 4,000, I think he said. No, was it 2,000 or 4,000? Yeah, it was in the thousands, however many of individual bug reports. Now some of them were the same. Yeah. Or they were known issues, but they said they definitely got a bunch of issues they did not know about, which is very cool.
Right. I think last I heard, and I mean, I don't know where we are since then, but there were about 300 bugs that were unique bugs that they're still working on. So the players are finding things and are reporting things, and they're following up. So it's a good testing process.
Yeah, players are apt to do that, find ways to break a game. So it's smart to have a good wide testing community.
Yes, indeed.
Because they will do that.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to mention about the from the stream itself was that I was extremely pleased with the dwarven stuff. Like that it would look like a dwarven crypt, and just like that the furniture, and I think that bathtub was a little weird, like with the high back, like why would I be sitting up half out of the water, because that back is not going to have any water in it, like you're gonna be sitting there cold. So
that's what you get for being funny looking.
I guess their beard will keep them warm, right?
Right.
But
doesn't it act as a towel as well? I don't know.
What if you're the beardless dwarves though, from the ocean?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's I thought that again, I think that the Ashes art community and character and the hair, they showed off more of the hair, which was again phenomenal. Both the male and the female hair, short, long, it doesn't matter. It's all top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, I got into this thing, and I picked the long locks hair. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Did you say the long Mox hair?
No, Mox hair. The long locks hair.
Of hair. Oh, okay. All right.
Mox doesn't have long hair, sir. I picked it, and go ahead, the flowing, and a great breastplate and whatever, and then you pop that helmet on top of his head, and you look like a bullet, right? I was like, I don't want to feel like a bullet, so I took the helmet off, and I knew I was sacrificing some stats, but I'd rather look beautiful.
Oh, you can't hide your helmet yet?
Not
not
yet.
Thing?
Yeah, no, I imagine sooner or later you will.
I hope that's the thing, because
I do too, but right now it's not, and I don't care if it is right now, but. Yeah. No, I wanted my beautiful hair to fly in the wind.
Yeah, I want no, I don't want to see my helmet, and I don't want to see do they have cloaks?
Some not, they do, but not in the armor we were. I mean, maybe a little half cloak, right? You have the little little Lando
I hope you're able to
hide.
No, they need to be able to hide that crap, because no capes.
Right. No capes.
I take that from Incredibles, man. No capes. That's my favorite set of quotes, man. That's no capes.
There's a reason it's dangerous. Let me tell you.
Exactly, man. So excellent, man. I look forward to hearing more of your shenanigans and hijinks in testing, and I'm anxious to actually see it. So soon, in the summer, right? Sometime in July.
We're recording
mid-July?
On June the 13th.
Right.
I think the weekend, the preview weekend with the NDA lifted, is July the 13th. I think we're within a month now of
about a month from being able to see this, in mass. That's cool.
And I've been dying to show you some things, man. I've been able to describe it for you, but I want to actually show you. Okay, look, here's what a node looks like.
Right.
I think when you see it, you will agree with me that it's too well delineated from its this is where the node is supposed to be compared to the surrounding countryside.
So here's the metropolis, and then right outside of it is like the country.
Yeah,
there are no suburbs.
Yeah, or it's like there's rocks, right? And it's large enough to be a metropolis, the rock outline, and then there's just nothing but green grass and a little camp in the middle.
Okay.
So when you stumble across a node, you know it no matter what. I'd love for them to just kind of smooth it out, so you don't really know where the node buildings, how large it's going to be. But anyway,
right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a future episode.
All right, cool.
So yes, lots of fun. Thank you, Mox, for dealing with my nostalgia about this last weekend. I had a lot of good fun. I also want to thank specifically Bardtic. Again, he bailed me out literally with giving me some gold. And
Bardtic, next time make him be naked during the siege.
Right.
It's high comedy for everybody.
Yes.
So
I mean, you may find that the long locks just kind of come out of everywhere. It's not underneath the shirt, who knows? So, but thank you, Bardtic. I definitely appreciate it. I did actually thank him on Twitter as well, but I thought in order to thank you, I would do something cool as well, hopefully. So I want to send all of our people, our viewers, over to Bardic's most recent video. Very recently posted. It's called A Game with Consequences, Ashes of Creation, Server Politics. No more hiding in anonymity. We will have the link above.
Yeah.
And also in our notes. Do check that out. Go check out Bardtic. Give him a follow and a subscribe on every platform.
It's a good video.
You can. Yeah, very good.
For sure.
Yeah. So thanks again, my friend.
Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Disparate Worlds, on Twitter at Disparate Worlds, and our website, disparateworlds.org. In addition, on our website and in the description below is a link to our Discord. Please check us out there.
Indeed. Thanks again, guys, for joining us this episode. Always appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment and do the whole like and subscribe thing. Hit the notification bell. That way you do not miss upcoming episodes. We very much appreciate having you with us. Do take care of yourselves. Remember always to be immovable in your principles and irresistible in your passion.